What up? What up? What up? What up? What's good, everybody? Welcome to Transformation Tuesdays, man. Hope everybody's having a productive and purposeful start to the week. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. I know I did. It was my son's 23rd. Everybody drop in the chat, man. Where you coming in from? What city? What state? Where you repping from? All that good stuff, man. Drop it in the chat. We're going to get started in a minute, man. Going to give everybody some time to jump on, man. Transformation Tuesdays. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Drop in the chat, man. Where you chiming in from? What city? What state? All that good stuff. Let's drop it in, y'all. Drop it in. Drop it in. What up, Bruce? What's good, baby? What's going on? Yeah, let's get it popping, y'all. We're going to drop it in today, man. Transformation Tuesday, man. I'm going to give everybody a minute to jump on, and we're going to get it going, y'all. Hope everybody had a productive and purposeful weekend. Enjoyed it. So my son's 23rd. We went to bathhouse, got some spa day in, had a nice dinner, and then a big-ass barbecue with the family on Sunday, man. Love them family barbecues, man. Family time is a blessing, man. You got to enjoy that shit for real. Yeah, we going to get it in, though, y'all. Today, we're going to talk about the comfort zone, man, and how it's the coffin to your calling. If you allow it to be, man, that comfort zone will fucking kill you, y'all. I'm going to give everybody a minute to jump on, and we're going to get started, man. Drop where you coming in from, what city, what state, where you repping from, man. Drop it all, your name, what city, what state, whether you coming in from your basement, your crib, your place of business, your car, wherever you're at, man. Drop it in, man. Don't show no shame. There ain't no judgment zone here, y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's get it. I believe your comfort zone is the coffin for your calling. Not your safety net, not your sanctuary, your fucking coffin. The place you run to when life gets uncertain, the space you justify as stability, that mask you hide behind when you're scared to be seen. It feels like safety, but it's suffocating your soul. And here's the worst part. Most people don't even know that they're lying in it. They confuse survival for success. They confuse being numb with being okay. They confuse the familiar with fulfillment. But here's the truth. Every time you stay in comfort, you bury your calling 1 inch deeper. And I know this not because I read it in a book. I know it because I lived it. I remember when my mom, man, she wasn't just my mother. She was my anchor, my compass, my best friend, my rock. She was my everything. Her cooking, man, her cooking was fucking legendary. I'd give anything right now to sit at her table one last time, just to smell her plate of rice and beans, or to hear her voice asking if I wanted seconds before I'd even finish my dish. I'd give anything for one more phone call, one more conversation, one more hug that somehow reminded me that I was loved no matter what was going on in my life. She wasn't just a part of my life. She was my life. And when the foundation cracks, the whole fucking house shakes. I'll never forget that day that I got that phone call. I was at my office. My brother came through on the other line, heard his voice. Before he even said it, I knew something was off. Something was wrong. He told me my mom's going to the hospital. Those words, they didn't just hit my ears. They shook my soul. That walk from my office to the Long Island Railroad is just a few blocks. But that shit felt like an eternity. Every step was heavy. It felt like my legs were dragging in cement. My chest was tight, my stomach in knots, my mind racing, praying that she'd be okay, fighting the voice in my gut that already knew the truth. And then came that fucking train ride. That was the longest ride of my life. Every stop felt like an eternity. I stared out the window, but I wasn't seeing anything. I was out there bargaining with God, begging for this not to be real. By the time I got to that hospital, my mom was already physically gone. I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to hold her hand one last time. I didn't get to tell her how much she meant to me. That moment cracked my world wide open. It felt like lights went out, like my soul had been ripped out of my fucking chest. And instead of breaking open, I broke inward. I didn't scream. I didn't collapse. I put on that mask, telling everybody, yeah, I'm all right. I'll be okay. But I wasn't fine. I was shattered. I was a man walking around without a fucking soul. And that I'm fine, that was my coffin. And the ego whispered, don't cry like a bitch. Don't show weakness. Handle that shit like a man. But that pride, that mask, it wasn't protecting me. It was suffocating me and my soul. So I did what my ego told me to do. I numbed the pain. First it was pills, cocaine. Eventually, I swore I'd never stick a needle in my arm. Next thing I know, I'm sticking a needle in my fucking arm. And here's the truth. I didn't want to die, but I also didn't want to feel. The silence was too heavy in my chest. The hole my mom left was deep. So I overdosed. The first time, I came close to dying. I was disoriented, scared, but still lying to myself. The ego told me, you got this. Don't let nobody see you weak. It was just an overdose. You'll be all right. You survived it. So what I do? I kept using. Then came that second overdose. Chaos, lights flashing, nurses shouting, the sound of monitors screaming as my body gave up. They pumped me with 6 fucking cans of Narcan to bring me back to life. 6 fucking cans of Narcan. Picture that shit. Hospital lights blinding, the smell of disinfectant burning your nose, voices yelling your name, trying to drag you back to consciousness. That should have been my wake-up call. But you know what I did? Ripped the IVs out of my arm, pulled the EKG electrodes off my body, left the hospital against medical advice, and then when I got outside, it's the middle of winter, I'm in a hospital gown, shivering, looking like a crackhead like Pookie from New Jack City because of all the opiates that were being taken out of my system. And the first thing that I do, I go call the dealer again to go get high. Not because I wanted to die, but because I couldn't face feeling. Because ego convinced me that admitting weakness was worse than death. That's how powerful the coffin of comfort is. You'll choose death over discomfort. And then came a moment that changed my life forever. My sister invited me for some event, personal development event. Last thing I wanted to do was go to some motivation, rah-rah, and hear some bullshit. That was the last thing I was thinking. But something inside of me pulled me to go. I didn't even want to be there. I felt like a fraud, like a ghost in the room. I sat there in that chair, surrounded by people chasing growth, chasing life, and I felt like the most broken man in the world. But something cracked open inside of me that day. I can't explain it fully, but it was like the coffin door lifted just an inch. Something stirred inside me. Something whispered, you don't got to stay buried, son. You don't got to live like this. This isn't what I created you for. And I didn't say anything. But inside, I knew something shifted. And after that event, my sister and myself were on the train. I'll never forget, man. We're on the New Jersey Transit on our way back to Long Island. And, She didn't even ask me what was wrong. She knew. She could see it in my eyes. She could feel it in her spirit. She knew I was a shell of who I truly was. And the truth, my whole family was waiting for this moment for 15 years, waiting to hear the words that would mean that I was finally ready to make a change in my life. Because remember, everybody else around you could want you to change. But if you ain't ready to change yourself, there ain't going to be a change. We sat in silence. The rhythm of the train clattering on the tracks felt louder and louder than my own thoughts. My chest was heavy. My throat was tight. My eyes started burning, started watering. And then I finally fucking broke. Tears streamed down my face. My voice cracked and I whispered. I whispered the words that shifted everything in my life. I said, I don't want to do this anymore, sis. I'm a shell of my true self. I'm tired of writing my obituary. I want to begin creating my legacy again. What's up, Connie? I see you, girl. And that was the first time I admitted I couldn't do it alone. It felt like death to my ego, but it was it was life to my soul. Because the truth, my ego was the coffin. The pride I thought was protecting me was actually burying me alive. The mask I thought was keeping me strong was killing me. And the second I cracked open, the second I said, I can't do this alone, the coffin started opening up more. That whisper on the train wasn't just a confession. It was a resurrection. For the first time, I stepped out of my comfort zone and into humility. For the first time, I didn't try to do it on my own. For the first time, I admitted I needed help. And that decision, it led me to rehab. Walking through those doors was foreign. It was terrifying. It was uncomfortable in every way possible. But it was the first act of real courage that I'd taken in years. Because the truth, staying in comfort was killing me. But stepping into discomfort was the only way I was ever going to live. So let me ask you, where are you saying I'm fine when your soul is screaming I'm not? Where's your ego keeping you in the coffin? Maybe for some of you, it's pretending your marriage is good when it's falling apart. Maybe for some of you, you're saying you're fulfilled in your career when you're not. You're just chasing that paycheck. But there's no fulfillment in that chase. Maybe for some of you, it's numbing with drugs, food, Netflix, a bottle of alcohol, because it's easier than facing that emptiness that you have inside you. Comfort feels like protection, but it's really suffocation. I'm going to teach y'all a framework that I use and hand you the blueprint for climbing out of that coffin. The blueprint is in the word change, right? So the C is to confront the coffin. You can't change what you won't confront. For years, I refused to confront mine. I told myself I was good. I convinced myself that I had it under control. But denial, that shit is just another nail in the coffin. So what I want you to do is write it down. Name your coffin. Be open and honest with yourself. Then you got the H. The H is for humbling yourself. It's one of the hardest steps, man. That train ride with my sister is a perfect example. Humility felt like weakness. I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want to share my story, my failures, my shame with the world. But that humility, it cracked the coffin for me. Because pride will bury you. Humility, it'll resurrect you. So ask yourself, who do you need to be humble with in your life? Who do you need to make a call today to? Be honest about it. Make that fucking call. Let the humility bring you to your greatness. And then the A. A is act in faith. Faith isn't about knowing the plan. It's about moving anyway. You see, faith and fear could be looked at as similar, right? Something you can't touch, you can't feel, but you know it exists. But here's the difference. Fear will build prisons around you. Faith, it builds empires. Choose to lean into your faith to overcome those fears. I mean, man, I had to lean into my faith with rehab and knowing that I was going to be able to get sober on that side, right? I also had to know about leaving a 7-figure business in the financial industry to step into this purpose. I didn't want to share my story with everybody. I don't want to talk about all the times that I overdosed or all the times that I failed in my life. But I knew that my purpose was bigger than me. It was bigger than the money that I was making. So I had to take that leap of faith. And let me tell you, it's the best decision I ever made, because there's no drug, no alcohol will ever give me that euphoric feeling that I get when I'm able to empower somebody to transform their life. That's the gift that keeps on giving. That's where I was able to find my purpose. So I'm asking you, what's one action that you've been delaying because you're not ready? And then the N. The N is for navigate discomfort. You see, change is fucking scary. Change hurts. Rehab was completely uncomfortable for me. Facing demons was uncomfortable. Leaving certainty was uncomfortable for me. But let me tell you, discomfort, that's proof of transformation. So, where are you avoiding discomfort? Where that you know it would actually grow you if you got out of that comfort zone? Write it down. And the G is for guard your calling. Even after breakthrough, comfort's it creeps back, because it's easy to stay comfortable. Temptation to return to the financial industry was real for me. There were times where I was like, fuck this, man. I don't want to sit there and post my life on social media. I don't want to have to go and be vulnerable with people. Let me go back to what's comfortable in my life. Let me go back to what I know I'm great at. Comfort will try to pull you back. Guard your habits, y'all. Guard your environment. Guard your circle. What's one guardrail that you need to build around your calling? We all got them. Find what that guardrail is. Build it. Protect that shit. It's sacred. And lastly, the E is for execute relentlessly. Change is one decision. It's daily execution. Sobriety was built in reps. Legacy is forged in repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. If you want to master something, you got to practice it every day. Michael Jordan didn't become the GOAT by just doing it one time. He practiced every single day. Execution is the difference between dreams and destiny. What's one small action that you could commit to daily? Write it down and commit to it. Find yourself an accountability partner to hold yourself accountable with it. But make sure that you do that every single day religiously. If you don't climb out of the coffin, life's going to bury you in it. You'll lose your years you can't get back. You'll lose the relationships that matter. You'll die with your calling inside of you. Remember, the most dreams out there they die at the cemetery because people hold those dreams inside of them. You don't got to, man. Remember, we were all created with a purpose inside of us. And it's our duty as spiritual beings living this human experience to go find what that purpose is. So here's your activation, y'all. Write down your coffin. Write down your first step in the change framework. And if you're done being buried alive, here's your next move. DM me the word reforge, REFORGE, and I'm going to give you a free reforge activation call. One conversation that can help build your personal change. One conversation that could crack the coffin open and set you free on your calling. Because you deserve to live in your calling. You deserve to walk in your purpose. You deserve to be the best version of you possible. Your comfort zone is your coffin, y'all. It's time to step out of that comfort zone and open that fucking coffin up. You don't belong in that coffin. It's not your time yet. Your time is here. Your time is now. If you're still breathing, you're not buried. The moment you confront your coffin, humble yourself, you act in faith, navigate discomfort, and you guard your calling, that's the moment you resurrect. Your time is now, y'all. Stay productive, stay purposeful, and stay blessed, man. I'll see y'all at the end of the week. Thanks for coming through, y'all. What's up, Lana? I see you, girl. All right, y'all. Stay blessed, man.